Grant Denyer now.
It's Grant Denyer.
The gold logie this year. Oh my God, it's Grant Denyer.
And our mum, Chezzi Denyer. She's really crazy.
It's all true.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Chezzi Denyer.
Yeah, we're here. And we are with you in your ear holes. How was that?
Right deep into those ear holes.
Yeah. No, it was good. Grant jogged on the treadmill today. First time in 5 months.
Yesterday was first time in 5 months.
Yeah, so you can hear he's got a slurring
I
of his
ran
voice.
for 30 minutes and I thought I was possibly going to die after about 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So I ran through hell and came out the other side.
King of fitness.
Today,
What was the inspiration to get back on the treadie?
I realised I forgot a race this weekend, and thanks to COVID, thanks to
Every bug under the
influenza
sun.
A, influenza, what's the other one? RSV.
Yeah, we've had every bug. Well, actually, every household that has kids has had every bug. So, yeah, it's been months.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've dragged my fat ass in the gym.
Oh,
In any way,
you did so well.
at least I boxed like a champion today.
Also, the treadie was in the gym. You don't have a treadie at home.
No.
Nah, we went to the actual gym. I thought, look, I'm running pretty low on motivation. If I had a treadmill here, there's a zero chance I'd step on that bastard. if it came down to have a cookie, watch Formula One, or get on the treadmill, it's a very, very simple answer, not the treadmill.
You have to be pretty motivated to have a home gym and
Yeah.
to get in there and work out.
So I book a PT, right? So if I book a PT, then I'm obligated, because then I'm going to let someone down if I don't turn up.
Yes.
So then that's the only way that I can motivate myself to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as well, knowing that you're going to pay for that experience, and then if you back down, then you still got to pay that money.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
And see, I can't live with myself if I do that. So then I turn up to the gym. Perfect psychology.
And I don't. I used to, but I don't. Anyway.
Good feedback online.
Yeah, thanks.
Good feedback online. Just been reading the reviews. Love them.
Amazing.
Keep sending them in.
Yeah.
They really tickle us in areas that we're quite thankful for. Don't know why I said that.
But it's true.
Yeah. It makes us feel good is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So entertaining. Love this show. Only just started listening this week. From the beginning, I might add. Well done for going all the way back to day one. I wonder what we sound like when we go back to day one.
I've listened back.
Do we sound like every work experience kid who first starts out? You listen back and you sound like you're an 8-year-old and you have no idea what you're doing?
We do sound different. I wasn't quite sure if it was because we're sitting so close to each other and I don't know, when I listened back, we were talking more to each other and to George, and now I feel like, you and I just ignore each other a little bit and we talk straight to George.
So more like our normal marriage.
It's more real now?
Yeah, it's very real.
Yeah.
I've stopped giving a shit. Now she hits me on camera, even though, because I don't know if you know, this podcast is on YouTube. So
Yeah.
you can
I
catch it
don't
there.
ever hit. I tickle.
Oh, I don't
to
know.
remind. I tap to remind you.
You know what I forgot to mention as well? You guys got yourselves some fluffers, some pop stops last
Yes.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
They look beautiful.
High
Thank
tech.
God. Yeah, it's only taking me 6 months to order them.
Need some It's All True ones, like theme them, brand them up, I reckon.
Oh, lucky it's some sort of slick radio show. We should have a
Yes.
prize cupboard.
And a mug. Instead of using a crappy cup, we should have a mug with a logo on it.
And back in the 90s, what you really wanted, mate, was you wanted the bomber jacket. Every radio station had bomber jackets.
The leather
with the
bomber
massive
jacket.
logos on the back, like Triple M. It was like, if you ever saw someone in one of those, like, wow, that person must be really famous. And as it turns out, it was probably just the internet guy.
Or they'd
Hand
picked,
out Coke cans and ice cream.
well, they
Ice
picked it
cold
up from
cans of Coke.
Vinnie's.
Yeah, true. So to finish that person's message off, that was
Their review.
Cat, flower emoji, and bow emoji.
Oh,
and
I
she
love
said,
that.
yeah, it's just so entertaining. I'm hooked. I love it.
Love it. Have you got one there, George?
I sure do. This one's titled Astro Tash Episode. It's from Taria, #hard work. Have only listened to one so far and loved it. I laughed out loud many times and learned lots about astrology. Can't wait to listen to the rest of the season and hopefully more after this one. Cheers, Deb.
Yeah, good on you, Debs.
Oh, love you, Deb.
Every Deb's a nice person, aren't
Yes. I love a
I've
Debbie.
never come across a bad Deb, to be very honest with you.
Yes, so true. They're so friendly.
Really helpful.
Yeah.
First one there if you ever need something done, bloody Deb.
Yeah.
She's there. Shoveling out the drains or whatever it is you need done around the house.
Shoveling out your drains.
Yeah, getting the leaves out of the gutters. That feels very Deb-like.
Or Fred-like.
Yeah, it's probably Deb's husband, Fred. That's probably Fred's role. She's providing the fresh cucumber sandwiches, though. When Fred comes over, Deb's on sandwich duty.
This is so random.
Fred and Deb are a great team.
Cute couple. They work well.
They really do. But to be honest, I'm more of a kind of an egg mayonnaise sandwich guy from Deb.
Oh, I had one of those the other day from a service station. Remember when I was coming back from Sydney? And
Jesus, that's high risk.
Yeah, it was high risk.
Anyone go down?
Well,
The kids were crook when you came back on that trip.
That's what I'm saying.
Whoa.
But anyway, we're not going to blame any service stations. Not naming names.
Relatable and funny. This is from Wild Brumby Retreat.
Oh,
Gee,
that sounds
fancy.
nice.
I'm feeling alive podcast
Yes.
coming on. Wild Brumby Retreat says, "Don't change!" Exclamation. Love the loose style of this podcast. In brackets, Grant's words, smiley face. So much fun. Loving the holistic real life content. You three are such a great team. Aww. And this is the best podcast. Well, get ready for that 20% discount, Wild Brumby Retreat. We are coming in hot.
I've got one too. Notice the little things. The stars are aligned. 5 stars. Ooh. Thank you for making my cleaning of the linen cupboard fun. I laughed, I learnt, and I can't wait for the next song. Keep up the good work.
How big's your bloody linen cupboard? Our podcast goes for an hour.
Well, it does take a while.
I suppose if you're pulling it all out and you're refolding it all.
Oh, God, it would take forever to do ours, and we haven't even unpacked everything.
We've got a linen cupboard?
We do.
It's behind all of the clothes in front of it.
Yes, that's right. Well, we haven't even unpacked anything properly yet, so we need to get a Debbie to come in, don't we?
Bloody Deb will be there in a second.
Yeah. Actually, last week, Georgie, we introduced you to a couple of voices. One of them was Debbie. Yeah. And we said that you had to go on a date with
that was
one of
quite
them.
the experience, let me tell you. And Grant, you mentioned that you wanted to have the same amount of production that we had on the first round of, my dating life and how things are going.
It was an exquisite piece of audio.
It was really, really funny.
What do you mean? If you cooked up something else?
Delivered that again, and this is my experience. I think from memory, I spoke to Tina, one of the contestants that you brought to my attention.
Contestants?
And so it was a bit of a dating show situation, really.
You're the prize, George.
And let me just say, it was quite the experience.
Okay, let's have a listen, hey?
We begin Mr. Sergeant's date with Stacey at the police station. Since learning that Stacey took a liking to George, she revealed that she had been living in his garden shed in the backyard for 9 months now. It's such a shame, Stacey. I was really looking forward to taking you to KFC, but I guess you'll have to get used to prison food now.
It's okay, Georgie. Once I'm out of the slammer, I'll come running right back to you and I'll set myself up in your basement.
To be honest, Stacey, I never thought I'd say this, but I think I'd prefer your security guard to the point Tina living with me.
George, Tina, me, you, mate in bed. How about it? Yep. Forever.
Direct.
Right.
Sorry, Stace.
It's okay, Georgie. I've been told I can have one essential item while it's in here. So while you were asleep last night, I took a plaster mold of your little sergeant.
Okay, well, bye, Stacey. Geez, I definitely dodged a bullet there. Who on earth would want a case of the Stace? Next week on Mr. Sergeant's Dating Life, we take you inside the bedroom with To The Point Tina. For warning, it could be a very short episode.
Me, you.
She couldn't even be bothered finishing her own sentence there, Tina.
So I'm looking forward to my date with her. She's my only option, and once we get to her, I think that's my dating career done and dusted.
Oh, my God. George.
Or is it?
Yeah. Your neighbours, do you get
Yes.
on well with them?
I do. Funny story. They came over to my house over the weekend, and they had like this big plate of these like dumpling kind of things,
Oh,
right?
Good play. Well done.
That's so lovely, and they smelt beautiful. They looked great, and I just took the entire plate off them and went inside. But I think they were actually going to each neighbour and offering one dumpling. And I took the whole
all
of
the
them.
food and the plate.
Yeah, I need to return the plate. I should probably do that.
Did you not invite them in?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
Well, they're literally like right next door, and they seem to be in a bit of a rush. They're probably going to the next door neighbour to give the rest of the dumplings, but that's it. They're done.
I'm not so sure you read that right.
What did they say when they first knocked on the door?
Well, see, they don't speak really good English. They're a little bit they're learning in that area.
Okay.
So they might have come over to ask if you've had a power blackout, and you've gone, thank you for the dumplings.
And that was just eating
that was
it
their
for lunch.
dinner.
And
I mean,
had
I
nothing
ate their
to do with
entire
you,
dinner.
and you just took them.
Yeah.
Look, if that's the case, I feel like a horrible person right now. But so I've probably misread that situation. I'll have to, bake them up something good and
Invite them in. If someone comes to your door bearing food, that means so the next bit of etiquette is would you like to come inside? That's normally how it goes.
Now,
so did
I
you just
love
steal the
that.
plate and then just slam the door shut in their face?
No. I don't do the slam the door part, but if they were to come in, there's nowhere for them to sit. I've got like a small lounge, and then that's it. There's not really a dining table. There's my bedroom, but no, they're a young family.
We could have all just sort of sat down and had a dumpling on the bed.
Oh, like in a circle, cross legs, and have a dumpling. You know what? Yeah, next time.
Welcome to
I'm
George's
just
dungeon. Grab a dumpling. Don't mind the sex swing. Oh,
Dungeon
she's about to
dumplings.
vomit or something.
Oh,
Dumpling coming up.
no.
Oh, speaking of vomits, I had like the world's hottest burger just before this podcast too.
How you going?
What? Why?
Hey, I am
What is the
absolutely
world's
stuffed.
hottest burger?
It's from this place called Burger Urge, not sponsored by the way, but it's called like the crocodile burger or something, and it is hot. You got to sign like a waiver. You're signing your life away before you do it. Yeah, and
you have
I
a
for
heart
about
attack.
half an hour after having this thing was just in a whole other world. I was crying, lips burned. Not good.
Can
Not
I
good,
just
man.
ask why? Why?
Because it's my job to do stupid shit.
Oh, hold on. So you're
did you
doing
do
it for work?
It was work. Yeah, not for my own time. Why would I do
Right.
that?
Well, I thought you must have grabbed it on the way home. I was thinking, well, that's a sure way for
Hey, I
heartburn.
got a great idea. Because you stole the neighbour's food and you didn't invite them in the house, you need to return the favour. You need to lob around there, knock on the door, and go, "I've got you these burgers.
Oh, no.
They are a local delicacy. Here." And make sure you go inside with them so you can watch them eat it, and then just witness their faces.
They will be on Struggle Street.
Is it that bad?
Well, you've got to literally sign this waiver, and people have gone to hospital for it.
Oh my god!
What's in it? What's in it? What's so spicy? Is it like just a full chili or
these
something?
chilies, yeah.
How are you
Like,
talking and
different
not
varieties?
Just suffering a severe heartburn.
Well, we're having this. Oh, I can feel the heat in my gut right now. It's next level, and I'm not looking forward to the first. You know what? It's
Yeah.
not going to be pretty.
No, it's not.
But I had it around midday today. We're recording this episode in the late afternoon, so I'm just bouncing back now. But I still feel like I'm in another world right now. Yeah.
Far out. I just want to know what is on the waiver. Like, what does it say? If you have,
If you die, do
if
not
you have a
sue.
fit, is it like as black and white as that?
Yeah, literally. There was a whole page of it. I should have read it. I didn't. But
Yeah.
If you end up with a burnt bottom tomorrow,
permanent bum damage,
third
mate.
degree burns.
I'd like 3 cups of milk as well, and some yogurt and water, everything you can think of.
Wow, that's pretty good.
That doesn't sound enjoyable to me.
No.
Like, I've never been one to love hot food. Did you enjoy it?
Look, that hot? No, I don't enjoy it. I enjoy the little thrill and kick you get out of it.
Yeah, it's a buzz.
But hot food, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I like a bit of hot food. Grant can't really tolerate it very much, but I remember we had something with chilies or something in Bali. Do you remember? And
It might have been the chilies, or it could have also been the 3 litres of sangria we had out of that gigantic
True.
fish bowl. Remember? It was
Yes,
they literally
that's
bring
right.
you a
Like-
fish bowl to the table.
yeah, and it was delicious. And Grant had like this massive gastritis attack after eating this hot food, and because he can't tolerate it. And so next minute we're waiting for a taxi out the front of the restaurant. It's date night. We had a babysitter and we were out for about half an hour before this happened, and Grant's laying on the ground.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
it's in a lot
just
of
having
pain.
like lots of antacids, and people are walking past and they're going, "Oh, it's bloody Grant Denyer. Is he having a heart attack?" And I'm like still drinking my sangria, and Grant's, no, he's fine. We're just waiting for a taxi.
People were literally walking past and just kicking my corpse to see if I was okay. Like I was that dead.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So how do you go with like sweet chili?
Yeah, fine. Not a drama.
It's all good?
It's normally an accumulation of things. That,
Yeah.
we don't need to talk about like the inner workings of my stomach.
I ate a whole chili once trying to bring on labour with Sailor. Oh,
yeah,
do you
you
remember
did
that?
too. Yeah.
And I ate the seeds and everything, and nothing worked. No, but the next day I remember feeling it when I was in hospital, and it was pretty
So I could
sore.
give birth to a kid after my experience today.
Yeah, good luck. A little,
Yeah.
little Georgie on the way. What have we got in store for today? Because
Well,
do we need to apologise?
we do actually.
because-
So I think last week, last episode when we finished, we all spoke, and George was pretty distressed. Would you say that we'd not distressed? He's a good sport,
he's
but
not distressed.
we were just joking. The voices of the 4 girls that
We forgot in the fun of playing all those voices of potential dates for you. We actually forgot to tell you afterwards that they were just all Chezzi.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yeah, no, you didn't, you liar. Because you said to us after the last podcast, "Oh my God, was that last one you?" That's what you said to us.
Yeah.
We finished
Okay,
recording.
I thought the last one was Chezzi. The rest, I was
They
like,
were-
this could be legit.
They were all Chezzi.
They were all me. I recorded the voices on the way home from the kids' school. Yeah,
Now, we
so-
thought that would be obvious, that it
Yeah.
was obviously Chezzi. So we just thought it was fun, a bit of fun. And then it wasn't until after that we finished recording the podcast, we were like, oh, shit, he thinks some of them are real. Then we
Yeah.
felt terrible
Yeah.
because you thought maybe we tried to hook you up with real human beings. And then we felt like dogs that we tricked you.
That's right.
I thought it
And
was a
also-
nice gesture.
And also, we thought everybody at home would be thinking, who are these crazed women that Grant and Chez are trying to set George up with? So
We're sorry.
we're sorry. If you would have seen my
Guys.
face in the YouTube video, I'm a terrible liar, and it was very obvious when I was
Then again,
playing
I'm very
voices.
gullible, and I thought it was a very nice gesture. And I think Disney should reach out to you and get you doing voice acting, because that's some amazing voices. I had listeners thinking that they were real contestants.
I know. I've had people talking to me through the week saying, I can't believe how psycho that Debbie sounded.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. And then I've had to sheepishly say it was actually me. And then I feel like a real creep. So, look, George, we owe you.
Guys, it's all good. Content.
Because we stuffed
yeah.
around last time and it was
And-
all a joke and we didn't declare our honest intentions and we misled you and
Yeah.
we broke the bro code.
We really, we owe you some serious dating help. So we have tracked down Australia's biggest dating guru.
And I promise you, this time it's not Chezzi.
It's not me.
It's a real person.
And so we have hunted him down. It's Jake Maddock, okay? Very, very famous. We have begged him to come and give you some advice. So let's get him on the
Hang
phone.
on. So what's the premise here? So Jake, he helps people
He is-
find love or know what to do. when
He
you-
is a
when you meet
dating
someone?
and intimacy coach.
Intimacy coach. I
And
love
he
that.
has his own
Just what I need.
Yeah.
Maddock University where you can go online. Anyway, let's let him talk about it.
So you guys think I'm really struggling, and I love this so much.
We know you're not, but we know this might help.
So let's talk.
Jake.
Hi, it's Grant, Chezzi, and George from It's All True podcast. How are you?
Hey guys, thanks for calling me.
Mate, thank you so much for making yourself available. I know you're a highly in-demand individual and your skills know no end. But we've got a young bloke that we've been fostering in the radio podcasting landscape, and he's with us right now, George. He's only young. He's 21.
Yeah.
And he's new to the dating scene. So we thought, how awesome would it be, instead of us taking the piss out of this bloke every week, actually give him some genuine help to help him in real life. And you, my friend, are the man. Are you up for the task?
I'm up for the task. George, you ready for some help?
Jake, I am so ready. I'm so ready to learn everything about love, dating, intimacy, you name it. I am all ears. I got my pen and notepad ready to go.
He's also naked. He's naked from the pants down, Jake. So I hope that's okay.
Don't tell Jake that.
Hey,
that is part of the process.
Now, before we get too far, Jake, give yourself a plug, mate. Where can people find you online if they want to sort of take your skills to the next level personally, or find out more from you?
Yeah, 100%. So they can look on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Just type in Jake Maddock. Should be fairly easy to find, and YouTube too.
Sweet.
You are everywhere at the moment, Jake. You're
good.
Yes.
Good.
I've got girlfriends who follow you. I've got lots of actually single girlfriends who have just gone through a bit of a divorce recently, and they've been following your advice.
I love coaching single people. I love it.
Fantastic. All right. Well,
what kind of things do you help them with, Jake? How do you work? What's your MO?
There's a whole bunch of things I do. So I'm all about helping people achieve a 10 out of 10 relationship, right? But one of the first steps to that is getting them to a 10 out of 10 first. So I coach a large amount of women who are single and post-divorce, heaps, okay? One of the first things I do is I show them how to step in their feminine energy confidently so they feel safe and happy in their environment, so they can go out and actually achieve a 10 out of 10 relationship effectively. Because if your mindset, if you're really negative Nancy, it's going to be really hard. So that's one of the first things we do, make sure their mindset and their confidence is really high.
wow, I'm sold.
But some people, sometimes they've come out of a situation where they might be
A bad relationship.
a little bruised, a little broken, and it takes a bit of time to sort of get back on their feet. You know, do you what sort of advice do you offer them to sort of help fast track that so they can sort of cast off the bad and welcome the new?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things we do. So there's an emotional side of things as far as positive affirmations, make sure you're having positive self-talk, things of that nature. And there's also the practical steps as well, getting out there in the world, doing some hobbies, making sure you're surrounding yourself by the right people, some real practical steps. And then also getting them to realize that their mindset isn't a reflection of their past and they can choose what sort of mindset they want to have.
So, Jake, you speak about the single people needing to have, you know, the 10 out of 10 for themselves first. How do you get to that point?
Yeah, so what I would do especially for George is make sure that he's super confident within who he is, okay? So one of those things is if he's a really indecisive, low-confidence fellow, he's obviously not going to be very attractive. So we've got to make sure that confidence is up really high, he's feeling good within himself, he's doing lots of hobbies, he's part of the community, he feels successful in who he is, right? So then he can make decisions, he can take girls on dates, and he'll look more attractive because of that confidence.
Mate, do you also reckon that and this is just me speaking, George, by the way, if you are physically happy with yourself, if you're happy with the way you look, dating might be a bit easier?
Yes, it is, but how you feel about yourself and how you feel about the way you look isn't really a reflection of how you actually look, is it?
No, that's true.
No, it's true. It's just it's your interpretation of how you look and perception, which could come with like all sorts of backstories. Yeah.
Whole lot of different things, correct. It's mindset's a funny thing.
So why is confidence more attractive than good looks?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to.
You've always said that.
I have always said that.
I just thought you were full of shit.
Yeah.
Because
I am that as well. No.
Really? What backs that statement up, though?
Well, no one really wants to date a nervous Nelly who's super indecisive and they're going to be negative on themselves. They're just not going to be much fun to hang around, are they?
Yeah, that's true. Even if they are really good to look at, you need a personality behind that, those looks.
Yeah, so attraction is really important, but the way I describe attraction, it's not really about how you look anyway. It's about how attractive people are to you, if that makes sense. So there's a whole lot of things that go into attraction. Think about you with your best friend, yeah? Now, you're not sexually attracted to that person, but you're attracted to them in the sense that you want to hang out with that person, yeah? Doesn't really matter how they look, but how do they make you feel, yeah? How much fun are they to hang around? You're physically attracted to that person, as in you want to be around them like magnets.
Yeah, right.
So all right. So if you just say it's a first date, right? So he's met someone on Tinder after sharing
hold on.
shots of their genitals for a while. They've decided to meet in person. So
Hold on, we probably need to ask, should he be showing shots of his genitals
Yeah,
on
okay,
Tinder?
let's go back a step.
Yeah.
So
By the way, I don't.
at what point should the genitals come out?
It's a great question. Now, look, feel free if you want to send a nudie pic. That's totally fine as long as it's reciprocated. So, George, if a girl says, hey, let's swap pictures and she's really into it, do it. Sure, that's totally fine. You don't want to send a pic if she didn't ask for it. That's rude and disrespectful, brother. Okay, so make sure if she asks for it, send it. And as far as other than that, and you're in person, it's better in person anyway, George. So be a gentleman, do it in person.
Yeah.
And
just not inside the
what's
restaurant.
What's good about that is not in the restaurant, depending on where you go. But what you want to do is, if the chemistry is really high, which it will be with your ideal partner, you'll want to rip each other's clothes off on the first date. And if you feel like doing it, go for gold, George.
Oh, his eyes just open up like dinner plates.
Go, George.
If this date originated from Tinder, like what are your, I guess, views on online dating? Because I did have it, but I got rid of it about a week ago because I felt that I just wasn't getting anything out of it. People aren't really conversationalists on that app.
Hey, George, it takes two to communicate, my friend. That means if no one's talking to you, that means you're not talking properly to them.
Ooh. Truth bomb.
Good call.
What do you mean?
You're just swiping.
Online dating is absolutely fantastic. I help thousands and thousands of people achieve a 10 out of 10 through online dating. Online dating is absolutely fantastic if you know what you're looking for, and then you know how to set up a profile, and you know how to take girls on dates. Now, George, being a guy, you're very, very lucky, okay? Being a guy, taking girls on dates is very, very easy. It's much harder being a girl. So you're very lucky straight off the bat, okay? All you need to know is how to take a girl on a high-value date. And then as long as your profile's set up properly, you take a girl on a date, that's it. It's so easy.
Why profile properly? Explain sort of the key fundamentals on what makes a good profile.
Yeah, so basically, George, you want all your photos to be of you and fish, and you want to make sure they have a really detailed bio how you only want one night stand.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm kidding, brother.
Oh, right.
So no fish, okay? Get rid of the fish. You want to make sure your photos are good. So one of the things I do for my clients is I pick all their photos for them because most people are pretty bad at it. So you want to make sure your photos are good, okay? Some people are very bad at taking photos. You got to make sure your photos are half decent, okay?
And can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
George has put a photo of him with all his mates up on his Tinder profile.
No, just him and his mate in the second photo.
Oh, yeah.
And his mate's a super hottie.
Yeah, and
Rugby player, black hair, piercing blue eyes.
That's a dumb move, isn't it?
Yeah, and people keep asking, who's your mate? That's not smart.
They're going for him.
Yeah, probably not the best photo to have up.
Yeah.
So should he get uglier friends?
Oh, that's pretty funny. He doesn't need to have ugly friends, but probably don't post the really good looking ones online.
Yeah.
So
okay.
what kind of poses are we doing? Are they candid shots? Are they local
it's
photo
all about,
studio shots? What kind of
Yeah,
snaps?
you can get professional photos, but it's all about how you connect with the camera. Okay, so you got to remember someone's looking at that photo from the other side of the screen. Okay, so what are they seeing when they look at the camera? So one of the things when I look for photos when I'm choosing photos for people is how is that person feeling when they look at your photo? Do they see you as warm? Do they see you as inviting? Do they see you as someone they want to go on a date with? Do you look overly sexualized? What are they looking for? What traits are you seeing through that photo? So it's actually quite complicated. It's actually a bit in it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you've got to have like the profile tip top, and then you've also got to have a high value date. What's that date meant to look like in 2022?
Obviously not
for
McDonald's.
a young bloke.
Not McDonald's, no. So, George, this is exactly what I want you to do, brother, in detail. It's exactly the perfect recipe for you, okay? What I want you to do, you start talking to a girl on Tinder, right? Build a little bit of rapport. Then you want to say, look, I love talking to you. Can I take you on a date this Friday? She'd say, yeah, sure, I'd love to. Or she'd say, no, I'm busy. Can you make it on Saturday? Sure, whatever. You want to take a girl on a nice date. If you ask a girl on a nice date and there's a little bit of rapport built, there's a 90% chance she's going to say yes, okay? So then you say, great, I'll pick you up at this time. One of the things with dates, make sure it's a surprise, okay? Now, what I mean by that is don't tell her where you're taking her, okay? Just say, look, I've got some nice plans. I'm taking you to a nice restaurant. and that's it. Okay, you don't need to tell her everything about it. Mystery builds a bit of attraction there. Okay, George.
Yeah.
Another thing you need to do. The perfect date has 4 parts. Okay, you ask the girl on a date. That's step 1. Step 2, you go and do an activity. Mini putt-putt, arcades, axe throwing, whatever. There's a million activities, something like that, something fun where you can be flirty and physical, okay? Make sure you're in the right spot when you're doing axe throwing.
Yeah.
And then
Make sure you're not with a psychopath as well.
it'd be an interesting evening for sure. So the third part is you want to take it to a nice restaurant. Now, on a first date, don't go to the best restaurant in town. Just a nice medium restaurant, okay? Not McDonald's, but not the most expensive either. Just a nice medium range. And then at the end of the date, the drop-off. You're dropping her off. Hopefully you did a good enough job that she wants to kiss you, okay?
Yeah.
Wow. So there's actually a proper timeline that I can be following to have mostly success.
That is the perfect recipe for a date, whether it's a first date or you've been married 10 years and you're taking your wife on a date. I still use the exact recipe now, and it works absolutely fantastic.
Ooh, I think we might need some
So you're
advice
saying
ourselves.
not the drive-through is what you're saying.
With the
No
kids.
drive-thrus. And George, another thing, brother, you got to pay for every single date, okay?
Oh, already done, man. Already done.
Good.
What happens
Good man.
What happens if the female turns around and says, "No, I'll pay for my half"? Do you respect that?
No, you say, "Oh, don't be silly. Don't worry about it. I got it. It's all good. It's all good."
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm a bit like that as well, but I'd be worried in this modern day and age that, you know,
You'd offend someone.
that women obviously want to stand on their own 2 feet and they don't feel like they need a man to financially cover them. But I'm kind of with you, Jake. That's how I would have approached it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. If you go on a date with a girl and she's really argumentative and just acting super defensive like that, do you even want to see her again anyway?
Great point.
You know?
Yes, very true. So if you're on a date and you've got, say, someone who is like that, how do you get out of it?
Well, there's a few ways. So George could be nice and say, "Look, I love taking you on a date. I'm not really feeling it, so I'll just leave it there." He could ghost her, or he could be really mean and insulting and just say, "Look, you're absolutely terrible. I hate you. I don't want to see you again."
Yeah.
But that's up to George. It doesn't really matter.
Absolutely.
Number three.
Hold on. How do you ghost someone if you're on a date? What, do you just run out the toilet?
Throw a sheet over.
No, more if she texts him the next day saying, "Hey, I had a great day," he just wouldn't reply.
Oh, right.
So is honesty the best policy, do you think, in those instances, Jake?
It doesn't matter because she's not his ideal partner, so who cares?
Yeah.
She's no one in his future, so don't waste any time on it.
Jake's
tough but honest.
Yeah, I know, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Because sometimes
It's like,
you can read some of these books and they're so fanciful, full of airy-fairy ideas on what love should be and how you should approach it. And there should be harps playing and bloody Cupid flying in the sky. And a man's got to put his jacket down over the bloody puddle like it's 1837. Like, Jesus, thank Christ someone's speaking me language.
yeah. But what about if you're, and I'm, being really nice here, George, but say, he's on a date and he's feeling a little bit awkward.
Mm-hmm.
How does he overcome that? Is that common?
If George is feeling a bit awkward,
Yeah.
there's lots of things you can do. So often I coach a lot of people who are single and they get quite nervous before a date. So what we do is I encourage them to find some sort of a power song, a pump-up song, right? Something to get them jumping around. They get a bit of music in their vein. Yeah. And then they jump out there, and then when they're on a date, have a few cocktails, relax. And then also what also works is breaking the ice quickly with affection. So I recommend kissing on the cheek in the first 3 seconds, just little things like that. Linking arms, just little bits of affection, and it breaks the ice, makes people feel a bit more comfortable.
Oh, the linking of the arms is cute.
Yeah, that's nice.
I like that idea. In terms of sometimes people, if it's been a while, maybe they've been sort of at home, just either, not really around a lot of other people. They can be a bit nervous about what to talk about, like conversation pieces. How should you approach
good question.
the whole chatting process in terms of topics and where to start?
Yeah. This is one of the reasons I encourage people to do hobbies, so they're part of the community and they're used to talking to people who aren't their friends.
Yeah.
Get them out of their comfort zone, because if you can't talk to a stranger very well, you're going to be pretty awkward on dates, and you might have to go on 50 first dates before you're actually half decent and can hold a conversation with any sort of charisma. So it's going to be a lot easier if you do some hobbies and get out there. But if you're really not sure what to talk about on dates, talk about your environment, your immediate environment. Talk about the weight of shoes. Talk about what's on the menu. Talk about what's happening around you, okay? And then avoid any sort of awkward topics, politics, religion, your mother-in-law, all that sort of jazz.
Good call. Yeah, really
Jake, mate, I'm respecting everything you're saying, and I'm resonating with it. But how do you become the love guru? What sort of training have you had to do to get to the position you are in today?
Great question. I mainly just study. I've been studying relationships for about 10 years, mentoring under a lot of people, Tony Robbins, Coach Corey Wayne, people like this, studying under them. But then also, that doesn't really matter, because if you're really passionate and purposeful about something, you're going to become really good at it, okay? Say you're really passionate about cars. You spend 100 hours every week looking at cars and working on cars. You'll get pretty good at it after a few years. That's pretty much the same with me in relationships.
And what do you love about love, Jake?
Helping people achieve a 10 out of 10, avoiding the awkward, terrible situations people find themselves in. Just some people are so bad at relationships because, well, realistically, where are they going to learn it? And that's frustrating for me to see people just going through so much pain. They don't know what they're doing. They never can achieve a 10 out of 10 relationship. They don't even know it exists. And when I help people achieve it, it changes their life.
So what you're offering is a service where you can help people just not settle for second best.
Why are you looking at me?
That is correct. That is 100% correct. A big part of achieving a 10 out of 10 is saying no to every single thing which isn't your ideal partner.
And I guess it comes because we're all loaded with a history and a past,
insecurities,
and the things that the core values we learn as kids growing up. Sometimes there's people like me from broken families and broken homes, and you might not even have a lot of hope that true love can exist or great relationships can last. So is it hard for you when people, that we've got a little bit of a damaged background or a damaged understanding of what a relationship should be?
Yeah, yes, exactly. So one of the things I teach them is that true love does exist. And there's lots of people they meet in my program who have achieved a 10 out of 10, who haven't had it in the past. And then another thing I teach people is you're a human being. You're not a teacup. You're not broken. You're not damaged. You're a human being, okay? Your past doesn't define you. All the negative things from your past don't define your future. You choose your future. You define yourself.
God, this is motivating gear. This makes me want to break up with my relationship right now and start a whole fresh one. I'm so excited. I'm going to get a Porsche, and I'm going to get a sweet fade haircut and some gold jewelry, and I'm going to hit the town with my best jeans on.
At a nice restaurant.
I want to see a picture of that for sure.
Yeah, of me killing him.
It's good. It's a tough. Finding love is
It
hard.
is hard,
and
especially after COVID. With all the lockdowns, and I mean, Grant and I met at work, and that was a strange environment for us because we both kind of had partners at the time. And
strange for us, but common for a lot of people. I'm sure work is surely that's the place where people find love the most.
Well,
would it not be?
I don't
The
know.
majority of people, 40% of people find their ideal partner on online dating. About 11% find their ideal partner in a workspace.
Oh, okay. So
Right.
probably that's yeah.
Yeah.
Online dating is by far the best. If George followed my advice and went on a date and he got a date every week, within the next 6 months, he would find his ideal partner who would be with forever.
Are you saying?
All right, I'm re-downloading the app right now.
But
so you can find 10 out of 10 love on Tinder?
Of course you can. I've helped so many people do it. It's crazy. I found my wife on Tinder.
Really?
Wow.
How did the first date
You
go?
just have to know how to date properly. They're normal people. I knew exactly how to date, obviously. I knew about masculine and feminine energy and how to build attraction and how to effectively communicate. But Tinder is absolutely fantastic. Believe it or not, there's millions of real people on Tinder.
Right. See, we have this perception. Tinder is.
It started after our relationship started, so we missed
old.
that whole journey.
We're very past the
Misconceptions, guys.
Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
okay, that's interesting.
Well, I just always thought that people who went on Tinder were just after hooking up.
No.
Yeah, okay.
No, every single person wants a 10 out of 10 relationship. Some people are just scared. Some people are fearful. Some people don't know it exists, but I think everyone wants it deep down.
Now,
Yeah.
I know George is busting to ask this next question. When is it time to get
Yeah,
it
you
on?
go for it.
When is it time to get down and do the nasty? Like, how do you know the relationship is that point where it's time for a penis to enter a vagina?
I love that. I love how you said that. I like that. So there's a few things to it, okay? So I've coached a lot of people in the 10 out of 10 relationships, guys. And when people meet their ideal partner, guess what date the majority of people sleep with their ideal partner on?
First?
Number
What date
one.
does it usually happen?
No, third.
No, in this day and age, it'd have to be first.
I don't know.
Wouldn't it?
Not first.
If they meet their ideal partner,
well, you don't.
you said earlier, and I'm a good student, that if you go on a date with your ideal partner and you follow your instructions, you'll be ripping your clothes off by the end of the first date.
Ooh, good point.
Good listening.
I win.
Good listening. About 95% of the people I coached who met their ideal partner, they slept with them on the first date and they stay together forever.
Wow! Didn't see that coming.
Because the chemistry is so good. So your ideal partner is going to be a beautiful mix of chemistry, compatibility, and a little bit of X factor sprinkled in there. And if you meet that person and you know it, you'll feel it in your bones. You sleep with that person on the first date, it's not going to end. He's not going to think less of you. He'll think more of you. The relationship will get stronger. Love will blossom. It'll be a beautiful moment.
Oh,
Okay.
I love this.
I'm going to hit you with something real deep now, brother. So I want you to
God.
just absorb this, and then I want to hear. I want you to open your heart and tell me what,
Okay,
what your truth.
I'll take a deep breath.
Now, many people believe that it takes another person to make their life complete. But is that really the false way to look at life? Are you already complete, and now another person is only just going to value add?
It's a good question. I think human beings really, the best thing anyone can achieve in life is a 10 out of 10 relationship. I think I wouldn't even be 1% of the person I am today without my wife. I wouldn't be 1% as successful. I wouldn't be 1% as happy. All my success is owed to her. So I don't think I'd be a quarter of the person I am today without her. So saying that I'm half a person would be an insult to her. I don't think I was 10% of the person without her.
Yeah.
That's
a
pretty nice.
beautiful response.
That's pretty much how Grant talks about me in my dreams.
Yeah, that's right, Shelley. I do talk about that.
That's my mum.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I say that because a lot of people feel like on their own they're unhappy and they need another person's validation to make them whole
happy.
and complete.
Yeah.
There's lots of negative sentences you hear these days, guys. Yeah, there's a great negative sentence that lots of women say, and they say, "I don't need no man," or they'll say, "I don't need you. I want you." That's one of the stupidest, most negative things a woman can say to a man I've ever heard.
Yeah. I've never said that, by the way.
Good, because men like to feel needed. Yeah, saying to someone, "I don't need you," that's so insulting. People like to feel needed, men and women.
Yeah.
So there's lots of negative sentences like that. Another negative sentence, like you just said before, what was it? You don't need someone to complete you, or some rubbish like that. People say all these stupid sort of negative excuses to give themselves validation that they're fine and happy by themselves, while actually they feel their life is worthless and they feel like garbage within who they are.
Mate, growing up as a kid, like going through high school, what kind of person were you? Were you the dating king? Did you have like girl after girl after girl, or were you a bit more reserved? Like, what were you like back then?
No, I was pretty reserved and pretty shy mostly.
Yeah, right. So
not much a reflection of what I am now.
Is that because this is why you've chosen this path, is because you had to do some work on yourself, and then the lessons you learned, you kind of feel like you want to pass on to the rest of humanity so they can live the ultimate life too?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Inspirational.
I was just thinking, what about, we do have a couple of listeners who are newly divorced. What would be your advice for them, Jake?
There's a few things. Don't vilify your ex, okay? So don't call your ex a narcissist. Don't say anything negative about them. Don't demonize them, okay? That's not going to help anything. Another thing is cut the ties. You're not going backwards in life. You're going forwards in life. So don't try to be friends with your ex either. You can be friendly, but there's no need to be best friends with them. Move on, okay? And then get on some dates. Go out there and have some fun. set up your life the way you want it to be. And the best, really, what is success going through life? I think it's if you can go through life and go through the ups and downs without becoming cynical or bitter, you're doing a good job.
And it's okay to have a relationship break up. You reckon that's fair? Because a lot of people see it as a major failure in their life. You know, 'cause sometimes your family might look, you know, poorly at you and you feel like maybe you've let your kids down. But, you know, relationship breakups can be a healthy part of someone's existence.
Of course. I think the only failure in life is staying in an unhappy marriage for decade after decade. I think that's ridiculous.
There's some good stuff here.
There is some good stuff.
Do you need to be good in bed, Jake?
So what I teach is your ideal partner is going to meet you in bed in the right way. So you can think of the human body like puzzle pieces, right? Some people are going to fit together and some people aren't going to fit together, okay? So your ideal partner is going to fit in with you very well, okay? So puzzle pieces, you can train a puzzle piece or talk to them as much as you want. That puzzle piece still isn't going to fit quite right, okay? Do you want to find someone your ideal partner is going to fit just right and the puzzle pieces will almost seem like they're made for one another. Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah, it does.
It does, actually.
It's like you can't mess up something that is destined for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. George?
Oh, can you have a happy marriage and have a bad sex life?
Ooh.
No.
Oh, shit.
One of the things I teach is for couples should be being intimate 2 to 3 times a week.
God, even with little kids?
No, you be intimate with your partner.
No.
You will. I must admit, Jake, when she said that, I was like, that was really poorly phrased.
Guys, I really wish my wife laughed at my jokes like you guys. You guys are great.
God. I was just like picturing our sex life and like having the kids knocking and open up the door and.
Well, Jake, we've only just got a lock on our bedroom door, and can I just say, it's changed the game.
So yes, even with little kids, both working full time, you run 7 businesses, you've got 13 kids, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you still got to do it at least twice a week.
Yeah,
okay?
right.
Now that's average, guys. Okay, if something's going bad, obviously, yeah, you know, it doesn't have to be all the time, but on average, at least twice a week. Okay.
So
it's good for your body, it's good for your brain, it's good for everything.
You just mark it on a calendar and you go, hey, it's like
can
Tuesday
schedule it in.
night.
It's
Yeah.
2:30 on Tuesday afternoon. It's time.
Yes, you definitely can schedule it in. It takes away some of the spontaneity and you may just spend 10 minutes just trying to get in the mood, but that's okay. That's all right. And look, what I find with some couples when they schedule it in, they only schedule it in for the first few months and then they get used to it and the spontaneity starts to come back. Okay, scheduling is good for couples who sort of fall into a little bit of a rut.
Why is it so important? What effects does it have on the relationship if sex is a regular feature?
It's one of those things which builds attraction or can lower attraction quite a bit. So I talk to a lot of people who are very emotionally and physically and affectionately starved in relationships. A good sex life has a lot to do with that. So if your partner feels starved in one way or another in a relationship, the attraction's going to go down. And lots of bad things start to happen, and that love quickly turns to hatred and angst if someone feels starved.
Can you come back from that if you do have the...
Yep.
That, okay.
Definitely. I've helped a lot of sexless couples before. You know what's surprising? I've helped a lot of sexless couples, and it's usually the man who can't come to the table, surprisingly, in a lot of the couples I've coached. But again, quickly fixed, easily fixed.
And why do you find that is?
Yeah, I'm interested in that too.
Why is that?
Why
As men get older in their 40s and 50s, they start to, you know, their testosterone's plummeting and they're busy with work and they're just not into it as much, mainly just because their hormone levels, or they haven't tried some, you know, vasodilators like Viagra and stuff like that.
Whoa. Yeah, is that a game changer, is it?
If, well, I would recommend it at a certain age, definitely.
Yeah. Cool. Where do you get
your
these?
do you have your performance is
Have you got a prescription pad by any chance?
Shut up.
Well, they should sponsor me, but follow.com.au is the place to go. But your performance is extremely important for quite a number of reasons. So what do you think your wife feels if you can't perform right? What do you think she's thinking to herself?
Yeah, she's thinking, oh, gee, I can't wait for maths to start on television tonight so I can
Come on, guys. What does she feel about herself if the man can't perform?
Oh, okay, yeah. So she
I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm not attractive.
Exactly. Not too good for your marriage, yeah?
Yeah.
So
and you
your
do
performance
always-
directly matters how she feels.
You do always blame yourself. That is very true, don't you? So you often,
You're overthinking, you get in your head, it becomes a real mess, starts deteriorating the relationship. So performance is very important.
Can I ask a question? Because the times have changed, and I know that young kids see a lot of this at an early age, which is porn, and that can obviously change what they perceive to be a relationship. But for established adults who are in long form relationships, good or bad?
It's mostly bad, okay? So if you want to watch it rarely, no worries, okay? Nobody should be watching it more than once a week. And in fact, if George being single and 21, was it, he shouldn't watch it at all, okay? If he wants,
guilty.
And nor should he play with himself. If he wants to go out there, he can go and get a girlfriend. It will motivate him to go out there and more enthusiastically find a girl.
His face is
Absolutely
horrified. He feels like you've been watching you. He feels like you've been watching him.
Well,
No, I'm joking.
I'm watching you and I'm disappointed, George.
See, part of the
I'll do better.
Part of the tricks we've been playing on George in the last few episodes is fake dates that we've or fake profiles and girls that we've been. He thought that he was.
Hold on, they were fake. They were fake voices that I recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah. We feel pretty bad about that. So that's why we got you on here now to kind of really help him out rather than cock block him.
Yeah. And
I love it.
He's
So George, just remember, brother, get on online dating. Make sure your photos are good. Feel free to text me through your photos. And then make sure you get on one date a week. Go on a date every week, okay? Go on nice, high-value dates. And then at the end of the date, make a move, okay? The amount of girls who I coach who message me wanting a guy to make a move and he doesn't make a move because he's nervous, huge, all the time.
And see now,
Mate,
also,
thank you.
We don't want you don't be seen as like the sex pest guy that's just kind of
absolutely
gnawing at the girl. You don't want to feel like a creep on the first.
No, you
date.
don't.
So, but it's
no, you don't. But just try to lead from her body language. Go in for the kiss. If she pulls away, go no worries. Clearly, she's not feeling it. Go and see somebody else. Yeah, your ideal partner will be all over you.
I love
But you got to make a move.
I'm going to share this episode with all of my friends who are single, which actually they're all together with people, but I'll find some singles out there.
So it's helped, mate, has it? Has it helped you, George?
It has. This is incredible. You're the love guru for that exact reason. You know what you're talking about, and I love it.
What is your success rate, Jake, before we let you
So
go?
I have a special VIP program. So how that one works is it goes for 6 months, and at the 6 month mark, I actually guarantee who's ever doing the course will achieve a 10 out of 10 relationship. So in the VIP program, it's 100% success.
Wow.
So that's for like exclusive access to you, is it? And your
exclusive
program.
access. You can talk to me 7 days a week, heaps of group calls, online courses, heaps of stuff going on in that one. But it's so effective. So many people have achieved 10 out of 10 relationships in it. It's
so
crazy. Yeah, it's guaranteed in that program.
So
has anyone ever rung you in the middle of a date from a bathroom asking for, a bit of a pep talk?
I have gotten a lot of calls before and after a date. Even some of the people I've coached who had rather, how would you say it, disciplined upbringings. One girl said, "Is it okay if I sleep with this guy? Is that all right?" So of course it's okay. Why are you asking my permission? Of course, go for it.
So is
Get
it
a very modest upbringing.
Is it okay for George to send you a dick pic first, just to make sure you approve of the lighting and you make sure that the background is suitable for him to post?
And the length as well.
George, that would make me very upset, brother.
Hey, mate, just before you go, what if you're Catholic and your partner that you Tinder date wants to go the next step, but you don't really want to, but in your 5-step ideal dating plan, that's sort of part of that plan. Like what do you swap the sex out with?
Yeah, if you got the sort of mindset that you're not willing to be intimate with someone before marriage, dating is going to be extremely difficult for you in this century that we live in. And it's, what you could wait a little bit until you have a good feeling that you're your ideal partner. But look, if you I've coached a lot of people who had the mindset, I don't want to sleep with someone until I get into a relationship with them. It doesn't lead to better relationships. It leads to you getting into a lot of relationships which you shouldn't even be in the first place. Okay?
Interesting.
So it's actually, it's really bad. Now, if that's your religion and that's what you believe, you can practice whatever you want, but it's going to be so much harder.
So you really you need to try before you buy.
You have to. Yeah, if that puzzle piece doesn't fit, you just wasted 3 months getting to know somebody, and it's shit. It's not going to get better. The puzzle piece doesn't fit.
Yeah, because that you could. I mean, I don't know where I was going with this, but lack of sleep. I was just thinking they could pull their pants down. They could have 2 penises, and that doesn't work.
All the more better.
Twice the relationship.
You guys got to stop talking about George.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I don't think we've been helping George very much with this podcast. When we first started, he was only 18 and we were recording it in his bedroom studio, and he is a really sweet, lovely, great catch, and Grant really took the piss out of him, saying that, making out like there was tissues and lubricant around the room, and and then we made jokes about his blow up doll, fetishes, and and none of this is true. And so I'd really appreciate you coming along today to
undo all my bad work. Thanks, Jake. We really appreciate your professionalism, your time, and your insight, mate. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
No worries, guys. I hope you learned something. Try to put into practice all the stuff I said, whether you're in a relationship or you're single, put into practice. Put into practice and it improves your life.
Yeah, well, Chezzi's already been married before, so she's had her practice. Now I'm perfect. Practice makes perfect. Thanks, Jake. All the best, brother.
All right. See you, Jake.
See you guys.
Bye.
Obviously, you can follow Jake on all these Insta.
Oh, he's everywhere.
Accounts and YouTube videos. Yeah, he knows his stuff. I feel like you're in the. He's like a football coach almost for love.
But don't you feel now like you have the confidence just to be yourself? Like basically he's saying that you can be yourself. You just need to learn to back yourself. You just need to learn to be confident. You need to have that. Yeah,
backing yourself. There's some really good lessons in what he said, not only for single people, but also married couples and those who are going out and trying to figure out what they want in love. It was great. It was awesome.
Love is important.
Look, he obviously comes at it from a man's perspective, and everyone might have a slightly different take on how things should be done. We should bear that in mind.
But he works with his wife.
Yeah, and he has a good success rate, and he's changed a lot of people's lives. That was pretty fascinating. Because again, mate, look, don't look to us. We're old, man. This is your time to shine.
I base all my love decisions off what you say, GD.
No, see, I would have told you to get off Tinder because I just thought that Tinder was just for people who wanted to hook up. But he met his wife on Tinder.
Well, and that happens now. And having hosted Family Feud, you always ask, how'd you guys meet? And more often than not, in like you said, in this century, it goes, it's through Tinder. So my original understanding of what Tinder was for was wrong as well.
Yeah.
So there you go, mate.
So
but everybody's journey is different. That's a good point you made there as well, JD. Everybody's journey is different, and what people want is differing. So
are you going to follow some of his advice? Are you going to get rid of the photos of you with the best friend on Tinder?
I think that's a good idea. I think a fresh photo shoot for you. If you're going to open that app back up, fresh photo shoot for sure.
Yeah, fresh set of photos. Still on the fence on whether I get Tinder back, but everything else, that 5-step plan on a successful date, I really like that. So I'll keep you posted.
What's the other one? Is it Bumble, where the girl has to initiate the conversation first?
Yeah. So there's Hinge as well, where it's a little bit alternative. You have to answer all these questions that are really left of center, and if you have similar answers to the other person, then you come together as a match.
So that's like more of a compatibility concept. Yeah.
But if you're in a small town or somewhere a bit remote, you probably would want to go for one of the more popular ones, wouldn't you? That's what I'd be thinking.
Absolutely.
I mean,
there's a dating one that I did have for a period of time. It's called Plenty of Fish, and it's got a live streaming section where you can jump on and do a live stream and just, talk about your night or get people to jump on and do it. Yeah, so I had a mate who I was testing out some radio content with on a dating app.
Oh, really?
And you
just both jumped onto the dating app, Plenty of Fish, and we're like, "Oh, mate, do you want to do a bit of on-air content?" And we had thousands of people all around the world jumping onto our stream on the dating site.
I kind of like that live interaction because you know what they're doing right now, rather than some sort of perfected set of photographs and some curated.
But not everybody's
bio.
that game.
Yeah.
Like, to put yourself up there on a live stream is a bit, you have to be pretty confident.
Have you thought about OnlyFans, mate?
Well, yes, I actually did create an account during this entire episode. When you guys like to help out,
just selling photos of your elbow skin or something like an obscure niche,
real niche.
OnlyFans wasn't there somebody who went on that? Then they're just selling like videos of themselves behind the scenes and stuff, like a celebrity. I think it wasn't sexual. It was just
Yeah, like exclusive content.
Yeah.
We could have an OnlyFans for the podcast.
So could.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. But
yeah, it's more about, okay, so everyone knows what I do on camera. This is what my life is like behind that.
Yeah. How much money do you get for that?
I don't know. That doesn't sound like what people go to OnlyFans for. People are into like freaky stuff, don't they? And
I don't know.
I have no idea. All I know is feet is a fetish, and that's
so
about
weird.
it. And that I used to race cars against someone who now has an OnlyFans account.
Oh yeah, that's right. We interviewed her.
Yeah. Renee Gracie. So she makes a living doing explicit material. But not everything has to be explicit on there, I believe.
You can even show your ear hole. Ear holes are also a fetish.
Sexy as.
Yeah. We hope you enjoyed the tips.
Thank you. I'm really appreciative today. Yeah. That was so good.
I feel like we got quite a few out of them.
Yeah, could you tell we were excited?
We were so excited.
A few light bulb moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we felt so bad at what we did to the other day. We thought it was obvious that it was clearly just us mucking around, and it was only till we hung up our headphones we were like, did we maybe do the wrong thing by poor George there? So we felt a little guilty.
But I think George, he came good this week with the George date episode 2 radio play. So yeah,
and considering if Tina is in jail and she comes out to date you, maybe
Stacey's in jail.
Don't take her to the axe throwing, which was Jake's idea. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Maybe that can be next week's radio play, next episode's radio play.
But I'm not gullible because I had listeners saying that was not Chezzi, that they were real listeners. I don't want to put myself in the gullible category.
I know. I honestly, when I listened back to it and I said to Grant, this is so obviously me. Like, it's been years since I've done any voiceovers. I just played around with the speeds and the,
Yeah, she slowed them down and sped them up. So
Stacey
sped up and
Stacey was
down,
like, hi, Georgie.
Voice acting queen.
And Tina was the one that sent me undone because I was just trying to picture myself being really, very masculine and I could not listen to it without laughing. And
it worked.
I get Chezzi to do those in the bedroom, so it's like I've got a different person each night. It's just variety is the spice of life.
What the Grant?
Bend over, Grant.
You. I'll bend over.
Me, bend over, bed.
Oh my God.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you enjoyed another podcast of It's All True.
And leave some reviews. We love reading them. And we got 5 this week, which is great. Hopefully next week we can make it to 1,000 reviews.
And whilst we have been sifting through the details of George's love life, we certainly hope that some of the information that we provided today has been useful for you, wherever you are and whatever you're up to as well. Thanks for Jake coming on.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. Write us a review. Love you and leave you. Good night, Australia.
Love you guys.
Love you.
It's All True, the podcast with Grant and Chezzi Denya.
Bye-bye. See you